going to find himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So Mileham in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. Doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haight deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
But I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Oh, Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. Definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pite's pushed more and forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pite. Good have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start dropping. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Bill Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's touched on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Ladies and gentlemen, we return once more with the JPB Clio Cup Season 2, brought to you live on the Bred JPB YouTube channel using iRacing, the world's premier simulator, sponsored by Simstickers and SimLife. You can check them out down in the description below. www.simstickers.co.uk, simlife.co.uk as well. And I am here with Callum Mileham this evening as Mark Fletcher is off, hopefully enjoying his birthday. Mark will be back with me next week in the booth. Callum will be joining me again on Wednesday for the launch of the JPB GT4 Championship. Now, guys, I want to give a special shout out here as well before we go any further. This is in loving memory of Norma Carol Newman, Pete Newman's mum. Carol fought a brave fight with bowel cancer and enjoyed her final weeks in the care of the great team at the Sue Ryder Hospice in Cheltenham. She joined our father peacefully in the morning of the 23rd of May. So in loving memory there of Norma Carol Newman, and the guys at Pure Sims are running a special livery as well. So much all our love goes out to Pete and his family, of course, there as well. And I hope they're all doing well at this very difficult time for them there as well. So much love from everyone at JPB there for Pete Newman, who is here tonight. He won't be here next week because he's got to go and have an operation himself. I hope that goes well for you, Pete. But in loving memory of Pete's mum there, Normal Carol Newman, 1949 to 1923. So much love to you all. And there is that special livery that the Pure Sims guys are running there tonight. They're running a black and white one in loving memory there as well. But let's bring Mr. Callum Mileham into the booth with me here. Callum, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, great, thanks. Really looking forward to tonight. And, well, it was a great and touching message to start off the broadcast, really. So, yeah, looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, it should be an absolutely good one. Don't forget, we have got 11 rounds of action, including this one. We've got the media day here at VIR South. Then we've got round 1 next week at Oran Park, round 2 at Sandown, round 3 at Sebring Club Circuit, round 4 at Snetterton 200, round 5 at Summit Point on the 3rd of July, round 6 is Suzuka West Circuit on the 10th of July, round 7 is at the Twin Ring East Circuit on the 17th of July, and then round 8 is Knockhill on the 24th of July, round 9 is Watkins Glen, and then round 10 is the previous champion's choice, which we are still waiting on currently. And as we know, the previous champion was Pete Newman, fittingly, funny enough, as well. So Pete has the previous championship. We will get the choice of round 10 here tonight. But we've got 27 cars that currently are on the grid. We've got 34, I believe, or 35, I think, signed up, ready to go. So next week it should be an absolute banger there as well. Format's still the same, 10-minute quali. Heat 1, 20 minutes. Heat 2, 20 minutes top 10. Heat 3 will be a 20-minute top 20 with one fast repair for them to use throughout the race as well. Good evening, Phil. I hope you are well. Good evening, Barnesy. Much love to you. And Mark Fletcher, yo, have a great stream. Catch you all again for round 1. Definitely, mate. Go and enjoy your birthday. Happy birthday to our very own Mark Fletcher, who is, I don't know, 21. Guessing. Mark, let me know. Never actually told me how old his birthday was, Callum. So how old he was his birthday?
Oh, well, I mean, 21's not a bad guess. So if he is older than that, I'm sure he'll be thrilled to be called 21 on the broadcast. So, I mean, I certainly would be, and I'm only 1 year older. So, yeah, I'd be quite chuffed with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be an exciting one. Now, there has been some new entrants here this season as well. We've got Kyle Ridley from the Win It or Bin It team. We've got Lee Deemer from Excite Energy. We've got Duncan Murray from Team Goldwyn, who has teamed up with Sam Vernost here as well from Team Goldwyn Motorsport. They're new into the series as well. We've also got the returns of Rob Williams, Roger Morton, Jason Haddington, Craig Jones, obviously the Pure Sims boys, Pete Newman, and obviously Morgan Butler. We've also got Jono Johnson from Team SRL is back. He's teamed up again with Dan Mould, who couldn't make tonight. Chris Dixon's back in, Steve Hansford as well. And I want to give a big shout out. He's going to absolutely kill me when he hears this as well. But to my boy, Edward, who is driving along. He's got his L plates on there. He's teamed up with Roger Morton. Edward is the L driver. And if you look at the front of Roger Morton has got the newly passed driving stickers on the front of the car. I think what they've done there is absolutely iconic. Oh, there goes Edward, there goes Roger, and there goes Morgan Butler as well. So I believe there probably might have been some contact there, so that could be interesting. But much love there as well. My boys in the series, bless him, giving it a go on iRacing here as well. So good luck, son. Don't mess up, because Dad's your commentator.
That's a lot of pressure you're putting on him early doors there. Commentator curse is strong with you, I know that, and that's a lot of pressure you've just put on him straight away. So I think that's a bit unfair, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here.
Yeah, he's not doing too badly at the moment. He's sitting 10th in class at the moment, so there we go. And it's Jono Johnson's birthday as well. It is, yes, it is Jono Johnson's birthday. I did shout him out in the JPB Discord earlier on as well, so much love to Jono Johnson. Happy birthday to both of you. How old are you, Mark, anyway? 35? Oh, all right, there we go. Maybe you're not 21.
21. Yeah, 21.
21, James says so. That's all that matters. But if you want to get yourself involved, guys, you can. Discord link down in the description below. Get into the JPB Leagues Discord. We've got the Clio Cup, we've got the GT4s coming up on Wednesday, and we've got the return of the Big Dreams Little Voices charity event, 6 hours of Watkins Glen there with the boot. So all money, and I literally mean all money goes towards the Rainbow Trust. None of it comes into JPB whatsoever. It sponsors money goes into the Rainbow Trust. Entry money goes to the Rainbow Trust. We got a target of £2,000, and we're not even live. We've still got 2 weeks to go, and we're already up to, I believe, round about £470 at the moment, and we've not even gone live yet as well. So tune in for that one, June the 11th, 6 hours on the BDLV of Watkins Glen. So make yourself sure you get yourself involved in that one, because that would be a great one as well. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up on the JPB YouTube channel as well. We've got the return of the Sunday Drive Racing kicking off at 5 AM for anyone in the UK tomorrow morning. We've also got the UK Sim Racers for their final round as well, so tune in tomorrow for that one. Right, Callum, I want to talk to you about this race circuit. Now, what is turn 1 called?
Now, you've done this on purpose, because you know what I said to you in the green room before we jumped in the booth. I'm trying to avoid saying it, but it begins with a B and it describes a female dog. So it's yeah, it's not one I want to touch on, but yeah, you can kind of get the idea.
Yeah, we're on board now with Craig Jones. He's coming into turn 1, and there as well, turn 1, the right-hander here at Virginia International South. I will only say this once, so be aware, you're not going to get this mentioned again unless I come up with something amazing pun halfway through. Turn 1 is called, and I'm only going to say it once, and it is a warning to everyone, turn 1, believe it or not, at Virginia International South Course is called Bitch. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Mark Fletcher's there, go, come on Callum, tell the class as well. So turn 1 is called the Bitch. That's it. That's the end of that conversation. We've had a chuckle about it going down into the Discord as well. I laughed about it when I selected the course with the admins as well, because I thought it was absolutely amazing. And if you don't believe me, guys, I'm not making it up. It is on iRacing. You could go into the iRacing UI, look at Virginia International, click on the South Course on the left-hand side, and you will see turn 1 and what it's called. So stay tuned for that one as well, because I'm sure there might be, oh, this is not going to work. And that was Pete Newman there as well. But yeah, I did put Callum on the spot. He didn't want to say it, bless him, in the green room. He was like, I'm not going to say it, James. I'm not going to say it.
I still didn't say it. I stuck to it. I still didn't say it.
No, you didn't.
I'm going to maintain that for the whole broadcast. I'm maintaining that.
David Head's named after my wife. No, there was a thing actually with Arthur Fertile earlier on. He basically goaded me. He was like, go on, go and say there's a corner named after your wife on stream. I was like, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to die, right? Partly because the other corners, apart from that one that we've mentioned, the other corners are called Spiral, Fishhook, South Bend and Oak Tree. Now, I'm not going to get away with saying my wife's an oak tree because I'll be probably in trouble for calling her fat or something. So he messaged his missus, and his missus just, well, she was like, yeah, okay. And then she tried to divert away from it, and Arthur was still going about it as well. So the conversation went along the lines of, darling, look, there's a corner named after you. She put lovely. Then he put good, isn't it? And then he said something else, and I'm not going to repeat what he said. She just put, yeah, ha. And then he said something else, and then she asked him how work was going. Well, clearly, if he's got time to text her that, it ain't going very well for Mr. Fertile. And I thought I'll copy and see what my wife says, and my wife went, yeah, thanks. That was it. So, there we go. Oh, dear. David's off is named after what these cars are like to drive. Oh, Stuart Rice, stop it. That's because you couldn't drive them last season there as well. Duncan Murray, I went side by side with Sam into David's wife. Right, that's enough of that. It can all get a little bit complicated here and a little bit X-rated, and we ain't an X-rated broadcast channel here either. So settle down, you lot in chat, you rude-minded people, as we're coming towards the end of practice. We've got about 3.5 minutes. On the serious note, though, Callum, where are we looking for overtakes here tonight? Because I've seen a lot of people go off track all over the circuit. Not one place seems to be safe for these guys, as there's a lot of downhill braking, a lot of off camber, and a lot of short stops. It's going to be a tough one, isn't it?
That is, yeah. So obviously, apart from the main straight, the female dog turn is actually deemed as 2 turns. So after you come out of what is seen as on iRacing as turn 2, you've got kind of a straight before you get into the spiral, and that's going to be another prime place. If you get a good exit out there, you're going to have prime acceleration going up. That back straight, as we can see here with Pete, he's just coming around the female dog at the moment, and this is the mini straight that I was on about, and this is where power is going to be crucial. So I think this is going to be a good overtaking zone, but especially turn 11 and 12, which are the final 2 turns before out onto Oak Tree. That is going to be vital because it's the run down the big straight, and it's the length of the track, this straight. So it's going to be crucial getting the run out of there.
Yeah, it definitely is. This track is very tough. I've already had an admin. One of the admin, Craig Jones, has already messaged me, and he just put, you and your stupid track choices. He's put on it. So clearly, Craig Jones is not loving this. David has female dog turn. And they called you a wuss, Callum, for good health.
Fine, I'll take it. I'm standing by my word. I'm not saying it. Call me what you want. You can call me the name of the turn, but I'm not saying it.
Oh dear, I can see tonight going off already here in YouTube chat as well. Much love to everybody that's joined us. It's going to be absolutely insane, I think, here as well. Danny Kazar has returned this season as well. Danny's down in the AMS section. He's down in the AMS. Derek Crowther is another man that's dropped to the AMS, who's currently in the mix with the pros. Don't forget, there is pro and AMS, and pros are the red, AMS are the yellow as well. So just in case I forgot to mention that, currently at the moment. But there are, Sam Smith is here this season, so welcome in, Sam. Sam wanted a place last season, couldn't quite get in the it was full, unfortunately, so he had to go on a reserve lift, and he was about 4 down on that as well. So unfortunately for Sam, he didn't make it last season, but he has made it this season. Now, we do have open quali, okay, so 10 minutes of open quali here tonight, so this should be a rather exciting situation for everybody involved to set their grids. As I say, it's top 10 reverse after heat 1, top 20 after heat 2, so be aware that top 20 does cause a rather exciting end to the race. I saw a message earlier. I want to respond to that as well. Where is it? Toxic Munchkin, Mr. Jamie Dengle. Where are Mr. Mould and Mr. Thurtle? Mr. Mould couldn't make it, and Mr. Thurtle signed up for the GT4s. Now, he's got to keep the wife happy. He can't do too much racing, and decided that he's going to love the GT4s more. And he's celebrating the fact he got a Fair Place trophy last season, so he's loving that because that's his first ever trophy in sim racing. So there we go.
That's probably the biggest shock of the night to me, hearing that's his first trophy. But fair enough, you know. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, absolutely. David Ayres, a few years back, I bought my wife a necklace with a word on it with matching earrings. She loved them and wore them. With that word, what was that on it? What was turn one? The female dog, as Callum puts it.
Yeah, I did have a thought. We can't call it that throughout the night, because if I call it the actual name, it sounds bad. But if I call it the female dog, I'm going to have the RSPCA knocking on my door by the end of the night, because I'm going to be chatting about how there's many people running into this female dog all night, and I'm going to have my neighbours call someone on me. So I can't really call it that either.
All right, here we go. Let's set off. Down the course we go on a lap with Jono Johnson here as well from Team SRL. Jono's returned as well. Happy birthday to him as he goes into the famous, infamous turn one here at Virginia. He's going to be hard on the power now. He's going to be looking at that wiggle through 3, down through 4, and then up through the spiral. I should say up, it's down through the spiral because he goes left here, drops off camber, then he goes right, and then he goes left again. A tricky turn 6 now, and then they've classed, which is, you've got to love the Americans. This bit here is 6A, believe it or not. And then we're going into turn 7, which is the fish hook on the right-hand side, right-hand corner. And then we're going to run round 7 out of 8. Coming into 9, and then we're going to go left through turn 10. It is traditional short tracks that we've put the Clios back on this season as well. We've not put them on any crazy tracks like the Nordschleife, because that's about a 9.5 minute lap, as Mark Fletcher will be able to confirm on that one, if I'm not mistaken, as he goes right round the oak tree, which isn't there anymore. They've taken the oak tree out, unfortunately, for Jono Johnson, but he is going to be the first man across the line. Pete Newman's got full of purples behind him, but Jono Johnson there goes into pole. I'm expecting Pete Newman to jump in. He did on a 1:14.68. Carl Jacklett third, Pete Van Gool, Carl Ridley behind that as well. Derek Crowther pops it in on 4th place. Not a bad start as well, as we've got 7 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it's a great time from Crowther to put him up into P4. That's all that money from all the liveries that he's been doing. Got him a new engine unit for this race, I reckon. But has put him in a lovely spot early doors with Littler up there as well for the AM. So the AM boys are getting up there and trying to represent as much as they can. So they're doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, they definitely are. Cars are going to come streaming across the line very, very shortly. There's a lot of cars out on their laps at the moment. We'll give them a minute. I did sign up for this league again, but I'm having issue with iRacing, which I'm not able to sort myself. What's the problem? David Ayres, type out your problem, and we'll see who can come in and help you out. You know, because I'm an expert at iRacing. I haven't been on it that long, to be honest. 2021, I believe, I joined iRacing, and then of October that year, I started JPB, and then it skipped off from there. So I'll not risk ruining anyone's race. Okay, mate, no worries at all there. We're going to wait for more cars to come across. There's Sanford Ulster's not got a time currently for Team Goldwyn. My boy ain't got a time either. Mr. Parfitt there as well, so he's not got a time on the board. Neither has Mark Chappell, Paul Godden, Morgan Butler, Danny Kazar, Rob Williams, Daniel Lewis, Alan McCain, Mark Chappell and Lee Demon. None of them have got times currently here this evening, and they've only got 6 minutes to get something on the board here. There's a lot of off tracks, I'm not going to lie. This course does breed off tracks, Mr. Mileham, doesn't it?
That does indeed. It's one of those tracks that almost reminds me of a bit of Sebring as well. It's kind of the tracks where the corners catch you a bit off guard. They're not as obvious, should we say, as some other tracks, you know, where the barrier's being a bit closer. And because this is a portion of a larger track as well, it's even more difficult to spot where you've got to turn and get everything correct, as you can just see one of the cars going wide into no name corner, turn 1. So that's but Yeah, apart from that little incident at the front, then
I'm sorry, I called it No Name. Where are we? Where are we? At Spa or something? Yeah, you're making it up as you go along. The thing is, it is really hard with that corner because that is the actual name of the corner. It's very difficult. Phil's coming in for some philosophical information there. They took the oak tree out after it was struck by lightning and was dangerous, so they removed it. So the problem is that corner is actually called that. So, you know, it's very difficult, and the puns could come thick and fast later on, as we forget there as well. So stay tuned. It's going to be an interesting evening here as well. This with 4 minutes left to qualify. No Name. Callum swapped over to Spa. It's fine.
I want a different layout to you guys.
But it should be a good track, shouldn't it? I think it's not a track.
Yeah.
It's a layout that gets used very often.
No, it's not, and it's certainly going to bring some entertainment as well. Because yeah, you may have a few drivers, you know, joking around, complaining about it here and there, but ultimately it's going to bring some close racing. As we know, the Clios are close racing cars anyway. So with the Clios on this track, I think it's actually a good combination because you can just see as they come down the little S-bends there, it's going to be tight. You know, seeing a train of Clios going through there, especially the first couple of laps, it's going to be carnage, but it's going to be fantastic to watch. So great entertainment for ourselves and those watching at home.
Yeah, it definitely is. We've got 29 cars on track. Pegals! Ooh! Damn bit of congestion there, he says. That was going down into what was traditionally round turn 6 and on to 7. It got a little bit tight there as well. There's a couple of lap times coming in. My boy's broken the 117s. He's in a 116.97 as well. So Dad's going to keep a close eye on Mr. Edward Parfitt, who is joining me as well. It's very weird commentating on you, son. I'm not going to lie. There as well. So interesting one for him. Loving the L plates. Roger Morton, big shout out to you. Mind you, Roger Morton has got P plates on, so, you know, there you go. He's the newly passed driver. We've got the past AM champion of Craig Jones is in as well here this evening. Craig's currently sitting in 14th. Craig was promoted to pros under his much duress of being an admin here. He was like, what do you mean I've got to go pro? I was like, you got to go pro. However, he didn't change his livery and has got the wrong decals on. So he's not an AM. He is now officially a pro there as well. So Craig Jones, I'll have to fire the admin because he's got the wrong decals on his car currently, so I'm sure he will sort that one out as well at some point before we start the season next week, of course. Hey guys, is that John Johnson from Tanzo in second? It is Team SRL. Jono Johnson celebrating his birthday today, so he is here as well. He's out currently in second place, so much love to you, Martin Lee. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you are well, guys. As you can all see, we've well and truly broken the 1,000 subscriber as well, so I think we're up to 1,100 and something. So if you are new here and you fancy subscribing, please do, because it would be absolutely amazing. As we're coming into the last minute 20 of qualifying here as well. I was in the Tanzo GR86 League last night. You caught nearly all of my off tracks on your broadcast. Well, Callum can answer that one. Did we, Callum?
No, I can't answer that. I was not in control of the cameras. It happened to be there. It just happened to be at that time we were looking at that area of track. So I put all blame on Biggles, but I'm not one to snitch. So but yeah, but it was Biggles.
Oh, you cheeky man, blaming the Australian who's not here to defend himself. How rude of you. God blimey. Talk about throwing him under the bus there as well. He's thrown him on the barbecue with the kangaroos. Oh, Callum, yeah. I'll tell you that much. Poor old Biggles not defended himself here as well. Were you not commentating, no?
I was commentating, yes, but I have to admit there was so much going on last night. It was crazy. It was really, really good and enjoyable racing last night, but it was a bit like what we just saw there. There was a bit of smoke here, there and everywhere as well, so there was so much going on, it was hard to keep up.
Okay, we've got Morgan Butler setting greens on the board at the moment, currently in 8th place on a 1:15.1, goes 1:14.995, so they have been getting faster as it's been going along here as well. Absolutely stunning job from all of these drivers. Right, here we go. Here is the grid for the opening media day. Whoa. Okay, let's not do it that way. Not entirely sure what's happened to the grid there, but it's never been We'll do it this way. In first place is Pete Newman. In second place, Jono Johnson. Third place, Lee Deemer. Fourth, Carl Ridley. Fifth, Derek Craver. Sixth, Morgan Butler. Seventh, Carl Jacklett. Eighth, Wayne Palmer. Ninth, Stephen Barnes. 10th, Duncan Murray. 11th, Pete Van Gaal. 12th, Sam Van Ulster. 13th, Sam Smith. 14th, Alan McCain. 15th, Mark Chappell. 16th, Stuart Gibbons. 17th, Paul Godden. 18th is Roger Morton. And beyond that, we've got Craig Jones, 19th, Danny Kazar, 20th, Andy Littler, 21st, Chris Dixon, 22nd, Rob Williams, 23rd, Daniel Lewis, 24th, Edward Parfitt, 25th, Sir Alan Toon, 26th, Jason Haddington in 27th place. Then beyond that, we've got Steve Hansford and Mick Barry. So there we go. I'm not entirely sure why the grid has decided that he wants to do that, but there we go. All in all, can't really help that one at this time currently either, as it shouldn't have changed much since the last time, but clearly it has. So there we go. We've got the grid up and running, ready to go, and we should be all good. We're waiting for a few more drivers to go. I'm going to try and quickly resolve that issue. I don't think I'm going to be able to in the short period of time that the guys are getting on to the grid, so bear with. As I say, not entirely sure why it's decided to go and do that, which was a little bit confusing, but there we go. I can't unfortunately help technical issues at this moment in time. I wonder if that's going to make it any better. No, it's not. Right. Let's hide that one. Okay, so Pete Newman here as well, out on front, ready to go. We're going to have the first race underway. 20 minutes here. 4 heat 1, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the opening media day of the JPB Clio Cup is green, 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 and we got Pete Newman currently out in front here, leading the cars down into turn 1 once more, and he is out in front and leading by currently 0.18 of a second, absolutely flying along already, early doors for Pete Newman, and then we've got everybody else streaming through turn 1 here. As you can see, they're 3 wide further back at the same time. Chris Dixon's in there at the same time. Mick Barry and Jason Haddington are currently at the back, and it is an absolute barnstorming start for this man up front in his black and white livery, dedicated obviously to his mum there, who unfortunately passed away not so long ago. So not a bad start at all here, Callum, and everybody flying along nicely.
Yeah, everyone got a cracking start. It looks like there's a couple off track in the very distance there, but apart from that, everyone else had a fantastic start, and I do think Newman will have a bit of extra strength and push here today with obviously what this day is truly about and what it's remembering. So yeah, I think Newman's really going to be pushing to get a victory tonight, and I'm rooting for him, and fingers crossed we get that in race 1 here as these boys go round to complete lap 1.
Yeah, absolutely flying along. Pete Newman is going to take the opening lap. He's going to be out in front currently at the moment as well. As we can see on the left-hand side, we are in Heat 1. Paul Godden fighting away from Simstickers, of course, the sponsor for this season, with Stuart Gibbons and Duncan Murray from Team Goldwyn Motorsport. They're currently sitting down in 10th place, but it is Derek Craver leading the AMs currently at the moment. Further down the order, we've got Danny Kazar coming through with Rob Williams, who looks like, oh, no, Mr. Parfitt. What are you doing there? Good job, it was Jason Haddington, one of the admins of the league there. He's just ceremoniously wiped out. But Paul Godden with Danny Kazar here and Dan Lewis flying around as they're coming through 4, 5 and 6. It's been a tricky opening start for some here, Callum, but some have managed it okay currently at the moment.
Yeah, some have done really well. I think there was good awareness from Rob there with that little incident that happened on the on No Name there at the top of the hill. But yeah, a bit unfortunate for Parfitt Jr. because unfortunately I think that goes down as a major on his driving test. So the L plate's going to be on there for a bit longer. But apart from a couple of little incidents, nothing major so far. But these guys are obviously so close, and still, I know we're only 2 minutes 40 into the race at the minute, but everyone's just incredibly close together at the minute. There's nothing splitting the cars at all at this moment in time.
Yeah, Kazar runs a little bit wide there as well. He's got Roger Morton tucked up right behind him as well. He's going to have a go now of Morton there from the JPB Racing team. As he said, that's what he wanted to be. I was like, okay, so there we go. Roger Morton with his P plates on. My boys got L plates on as they're in the same team here as well. Stuart Gibbons is unfortunately joining the land of the grass trackers here as well. That's going down into turn 1. Stuart Gibbons come off track. Let's have a quick look and see what he's been up to. Oh, he just goes in way hot than he needs to, and unfortunately that is where Stuart Gibbons stayed there as well. Danny Kazar is another man who's also been off track at the same time here as well, but Pete Newman still out in front. Paul Godden still locked up with Dan Lewis and Roger Morton, who's just gone off a long way off. Roger Morton there unfortunately touches the grass and goes off, but Pete Newman and Jono Johnson half second back currently out front right at the moment as they're going round 10 turns 11 and 12. Newman in the black and white pure sims, Jono Johnson the traditional green and black there as well. Gibbons looked like he's had another instance. Barry's gone off at the same time. Mick Barry's struggling with this circuit here as well, but unfortunately it's got to get to grips with it, and Sam Smith and also Sam Van Olst here battling away on that run down into turn 1.
Yeah, great battling between some of these little groups we have here, and you can see just looking at the track map as well how close it still is between sort of P1 and P11 before it then splits off into a secondary group just after that. And I think these guys are going to be keeping it nice and tight throughout the entirety of the race, but things might get a bit interesting now because you've got Newman approaching the car that's, well, next to be lapped and only a couple of corners away from being lapped, and that is Mick Barry at the minute. So Mick Barry is getting into blue flag territory, so that could put a spanner in the works for some of these guys up the top.
Yeah, it has as well, and our favourite young gentleman here as well, Sir Alan Toon, has gone off track. Please don't tell me my boy was involved again. Oh no, he misses Sir Alan Toon, and Mr. Parfitt goes through Junior there as well. So he's ahead currently of Jason Haddington, battling away quite nicely down in 23rd place here as well. So a nice little tidy battle for him. But up front currently at the moment, Jono Johnson going at it with Pete Newman here on lap 5 with 15 minutes remaining.
Yeah, these races, I have to admit, I'm glad there are a lot of them because 20 minutes doesn't feel long enough. You can see the lockups we're getting on turn 1 at the moment with, like I say, it's a bit unexpected. We've got a bit of an off track there as well. Car side on with the track, and hopefully he's going to wait to rejoin nice and safely there, heading down into the S's. But yeah, it's that I think it was what we were just talking about before the race is the unpredictability of this track. Sort of people still aren't realising how quick that corner does sort of creep up on you, and I think a couple of people missing their braking points as they lead into turn 1.
Unfortunately there for Mr. Parfitt, he is in the wall. Did he go and take out? Oh no, first rules of racing, don't take out your teammate. And not an ideal scenario as we watch my son track across the grass here. Unfortunately for him, but I'm sure he'll be back up and running for race 2. Lee Deemer battling away here with Steve Burns right behind him. Burns from the Win It or Bin It team. Junior seems to be in the race longer than Dad so far. Knock it off, Mr. Dangle. Giving me grief already.
I think the name of turn 1 gives you the excuse to call people that today. I think that was part of the rules.
Oh, but, yes, yes. But what corner are they approaching now, sir?
Female dog. Approaching female dog as we speak.
Carl Ridley unfortunately has been off track at turn 1. He's diverted right the way off. Currently at the moment he's trying to come back on track just in front of Carl Jacklett there from the Optical Green team as well. Pete Van Gaal and Mark Chappell battling away, but PVG has just made it through there. Jason Haddington battling away with Chris Dixon currently at the moment and is fighting on here once more. Daniel Lewis and Danny Kazar have also been battling out side by side here as well, with Rob Williams from Triple P going through. Your teammate there doing quite well, up 3 places in 20th.
Yeah, quite impressive actually. This is as much as I'm sure he's going to sort of be gritting his teeth when he hears this. This is actually the first time me watching him race. The only other time I've been able to see him race is when he's miles ahead of me when I was doing the Clio racing last season. So this is the first time I've actually been able to sit back, put my feet up, relax, and see how he gets on. So quite looking forward to seeing what that guy can do tonight. But leaders going side by side into corner that shall not be named.
It almost makes it sound like Voldemort from Harry Potter, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Can't name it, because of the name of turn one. As these guys are going here into turn one, Jono Johnson's trying to come up the inside. He's going to get squeezed out by Newman. Currently at the moment, Newman's got the run of him going up through turn 4, 5 and 6. Into the spiral he goes. It almost reminds me of Laguna Seca, that corner, with the corkscrew there as well, as it just spirals off downhill. It's quite a makeshift Laguna Seca corner currently. That's what I find it quite interesting there.
Yeah, it is, and the fact of it being kind of blind as you're coming down it as well is adds a whole new risk to that. With these cars being as close as they are, as you can see between P1 and P2, there's nothing to split these guys at the moment. So them two coming down that close down, like you say, corners like the corkscrew from Laguna is very interesting to see, and what a lock-up that is leading up into the final turns. Good run out of the corner though, so Newman should be able to hold off the position for now, but may need to take the inside line leading into turn 1.
Yeah, he has. He's got Jono Johnson right behind him. Steve Hansford's been off. Mick Barry's been off and jumped back to the pits as well. They do have a fast repair here that they are able to take. So there is one fast repair for these guys currently at the moment. Leader of the AMS is Mr. Derek Crowther currently as well. So Derek Crowther is leading the AMS. He's just lost a place to Lee Deemer, and Deemer and Burns are going side by side here currently round turn 1 as they lead off as well. Crowther's under attack from Wayne Palmer from Simstickers, of course, the sponsor for this evening. He's being flashed by Zan Van Ols currently at the moment as well. Not entirely sure what Wayne's going to do about that. Probably just ignore the fact that Sam is flashing him frantically here as he's trying to get through, with Sam Smith behind him as well. Sam Smith no slouch in this car either, so it's going to be an interesting mix in this train that's led by Lee Deemer at the front of it, with Morgan Butler up the road there as well. So these guys are battling out for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th and 11th place, with Duncan Murray at the back from Team Goldwyn there as well. So it's all getting very tight in the mid-pack.
Yeah, it is, and that's one place I'm normally sitting at, is either mid-pack or just behind that, and the fighting in the mid-pack in any kind of race is always thrilling to be a part of, and it's exhilarating to watch as well. I mean, just look at the queue of cars we have here. Any slip-up from any one of these guys could, as I was just saying that, we had a bit of an off-track. I was like, oh, I better hold off what I'm about to say, but yeah, any kind of incident from these guys will put a massive spanner in the works for all of them, and hopefully it doesn't, but it could potentially ruin some races as well.
Gibbons is into the pits there as well for Stuart Gibbons. Unfortunately, Craig Jones battling away further down as well in 18th place currently here with Jason Hannington, who's going side by side with Steve Hansford as they go up through turn 10. The problem for these guys is they're fighting away and the leaders are not too far behind it. Craig's gone off on track, and also Carl Jacklett as well. Derek Crowther's just, well, he's in a place of where he doesn't want to be on that outside of turn 7. He's got a strewn of cars coming through. All of these pros, Sam Smith's trying to get through as well. Duncan Murray and everybody else are trailing through. But poor old Derek Crowther, he's just literally been bullied out there. He's lost his lunch money, his shoes, his shoelaces. They've been thrown over a telephone line, and unfortunately for him, he's gone off. And also one man that has gone off is one of the Team Goldwyns, Sam Van Olst, sitting off the side of the circuit there on that run down into turn 11 currently at the moment here as well. So unfortunately for Sam Van Olst, he's off the side of the circuit. Duncan Murray going side by side with Crowther. Crowther's just lost another position to Duncan Murray there. I'm not sure whether or not that was for Crowther's point of view, just letting them go. If he hasn't got the pace and he's leading the AMS by what, he's got 3 cars between him and Mark Chappell, it's probably sensible to let them go.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing about this is, yes, a 20-minute race, it sounds kind of short compared to some races, but the main thing is obviously racecraft and just trying to survive the race as well, with these reverse grids to add into the mix as well. It's a big thing to try and put strategy into it and try and get the best start for, if you feel like maybe, yeah, okay, this one I haven't got it, try and build on for race 2 and get into a better position to be higher up the grid for that second race or even the last race of the day.
Yeah, Carl Ridley is currently the pole man for race 2 in 10th place there. He's chasing down Derek Carver as well. Duncan Murray is trying to get up back onto Sam Smith, who's side by side with Wayne Palmer. Palmer's got the inside line for the final turn. He's locked him off. It's now going to be a drag race down into turn 1. Surely you're fine saying it as it's the name and not aimed at anyone. Well, this is also true, but unfortunately, we've got to keep it as PG as we can. Is it fixed this season? No, it is not. It is still open here as well, and it's going to be Smith on the inside of Palmer. It's going to be late of the breakers. Smith's going to make it through there. Carver's just lost another position further back. He's now out. He's sitting in pole for race 2 is Derek Carver. So this man here, unfortunately, is going to be on pole position with all the fast guys streaming past. A little bit later on, Craig Jones from Results Clothing trying to chase down Andy Littler as well, and unfortunately for him, he's sitting down in 19th place, not loving this circuit at the moment. But Pete Newman is still there with Jono Johnson currently out in front. 2 tenths separating them, one of your closest battles, if not the closest battle on track at the moment, Callum.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I have to admit, like we were saying at the start of the broadcast as well, you know, with these cars being such close racing vehicles anyway, these people that are out on track at the minute are doing a fantastic job of keeping us entertained, keeping everything nice and tight. But I have to admit, me as a racer, I can keep this close to someone for this amount of the race. I'll be either putting myself off or putting them off, and something will go wrong somewhere along the line. So I have to admit, big props and respect to everyone out on track at the minute, doing a fantastic job from what we've seen so far up here in the booth.
Yeah, Steve Hansford's just about to try and move over and let the guys through. Unfortunately for him, he's been caught in possibly the worst possible place on the circuit as he's kind of hit the brakes. He's trying to probably deal with this all at the same time. He's not really sure where to go. Newman's pressurized him right up behind him. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to allow them through on the inside now as well as Hansford. There goes the leaders. Well, good patience for Newman there. He didn't really have a choice, Hansford, unfortunately. I'm a big advocate for blue flags and getting out of the way. You know how I feel about that, chat. But unfortunately for Hansford, he didn't really have a choice. He was caught in a horrible section of the circuit.
He certainly was. It's a bit unfortunate when you get trapped like that. It's not situations anyone wants to be in at all, no matter where you are on the grid. So awareness is the most key thing here, especially at this track, you know, where these corners can catch you off guard, like we were saying before. It's a shortened circuit of a much larger one, and these corners aren't as obvious as other tracks, you know, having the barriers a bit closer to the track, evidently showing you where the track leads to if you don't know it off by heart. So it's something you've got to keep on top of the whole time, and if you find yourself in a situation like that, unfortunately there's not really much you can do to get out of it.
Definitely, I fully agree. Mine Sampson, is there room to join? There is, I believe. We're up to 35 cars on track. Oh, Crowther! Gone too hot into turn 1. He's gone too deep into the corner, and Pete Newman still under attack. Almost.
I was trying to keep it composed so badly.
Yeah, almost. Derek Carver going too deep into turn 1. Oh, dearie me. Jason Harrington's not loving this circuit. He's been off track as well, unfortunately for him. Big puff of smoke out there from Jono Johnson. And Lee Deemer is trying to get onto the back of Steve Burns currently at the moment. Pete Van Gaal is sat in pole for race 2 at this moment in time in 10th place, with Carl Jacklett behind him in 11th there. Roger Morton trying to have a nice little tidy P-plate battle with Sir Alan Toon. Oh, Duncan Murray and Sam Smith. There's Duncan Murray, there's Sam Smith. It looks like these guys have been involved in what can only be an incident. What happened here as we look at Duncan Murray, we're going to see, I've got a funny feeling there's a spinning Sam Smith. Oh, there was. Oh. Yeah, I think we'll have a chat about that one, Mr. Smith. I'm wondering if that's purely your rejoin that may have caused that incident, as he goes and spins it here as well onto the grass. Is he coming round? He's got his foot down. Oh, he's just trying to get the car out of the way. And unfortunately for him, that is the results of that incident there as well. So Sam Smith not having a good time on that rejoin. He's back on track behind Mr. Crowther. Duncan Murray is going to be in pole currently at the moment, but as we've seen so far, nobody really wants to keep hold of pole as he spins Carl Jacklin there as well. So it's all getting a bit idly piddly. How do I sign up, Mr. Mike Sampson? You DM me. You're in the Discord, I believe. You DM me. I did put an announcement out earlier on of how you can DM me, and I'll add you to the list, and we can discuss here as well whether or not how you want to get involved with PayPal and all the other cabazzles that goes with it. Craig Jones and Andy Littler still battling away here as well as they're coming down into turn 11 and 12. Getting a little bit scrappy at the moment, Callum.
That is a bit. I think it's getting to the nitty-gritty stage of the race where people are desperately trying to claw up positions to get up the grid a little bit more. So because they know it's going to be coming into the final few minutes here now. So I think it's just kind of putting everything you've got out there on the line. I mean, we are only in Heat 1, but still, you want to try and get as high as you can every race, don't you? So, and these guys have got obviously race and driver mindset, so they're going to try and get every position they can possibly get. If that means putting a bit of pressure on the driver ahead, and if it's slightly ugly, then well, so be it in some cases. So hopefully there's not much contact going forward from here, but it's certainly going to get a bit frisky between some of these cars, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing with last season. We've got Pete Newman coming around. He's just about to start the final lap of the race here. We're going to see Barney waving on the left-hand side. There he is. Pete Newman now in the final lap of the race coming up here as well. Hi, konnichiwa from Japan. I would read your name, but I don't know what it says. Konnichiwa to you as too. In fact, I will even speak to you in Spanish and go, hola, ¿cómo estás? That's about as much as I know currently at the moment, as my little Duolingo app hasn't progressed me far enough to know any more than that. So, you know, we'll go with that one for now here as well. Sam Van Olst is battling away with Alan McCain further down as they're going to come across and start the final lap of their race as well. Sam Van Olst battling away with Alan McCain down here in 11th and 12th in class, 13th and 14th currently in the field. But it is all about, as they're going down now, there goes Alan McCain. There goes Alan McCain. There goes Alan McCain. A long, long way round for Alan McCain there as well, as unfortunately my son is stuck in the back markers there with his L plates on, not really quite sure where to go apart from get through this set of corners, mate, and then put it over and let them through. So there we go. But Pete Newman coming round the final corner of race 1 in the pros here, and he is gonna take this victory. Jono Johnson's pushed him all the way from the opening race down into this one, and it is Newman and then Johnston. Newman comes across the line, finishes up there as well. Morgan Butler's gonna come over in 3rd place, so big shout out to Morgan Butler finishing 3rd. It's going to be this man Derek Crowther in the AMS taking the victory here as well, as he's still coming up behind Sam Smith. Sam Smith will be on pole for that next race. So let's see how he gets on. Crowther comes across the line there. Great job from him. Mark Chappell is going to be in 2nd place in the AMS, and then Danny Kazar will take 3rd here as well. So yeah, not bad start at all.
No, not a bad start whatsoever, and it's good to see Pete winning the first race as well. Obviously, like that message that you touched on at the very start of the broadcast, it's actually nice to see him win the opening race as well. I'm sure that's going to mean a lot to him for the first win of the day, as we see the circus going past turn 1 at the minute. So yeah, quite a good first race actually. Plenty of action going on there, so there was quite a lot to keep up on as well. So fair play to you for keeping up with all the camera working on that.
Yeah, it was definitely a ton work, but here are the results from race 1. Pete Newman is your winner. Jono Johnson in 2nd. Morgan Butler 3rd. Steve Barnes 4th. Lee Deemer 5th. Carl Ridley 6th. Wayne Palmer 7th. Pete Van Gaal in 8th. Duncan Murray 9th. Sam Smith 10th. Derek Crowther 11th. Sam Van Olst in 12th. Mark Chappell 13th. Danny Kazar 14th. Paul Godham 15th. Carl Jacklett 16th. Alan McCain 17th. And Andy Littler down in 18th place. And then beyond that, Craig Jones, Rob Williams, Dan Lewis, Chris Dixon, Ericsson to Alan Toon, Roger Morton, Jason Addington, Steve Hansford, Edward Parfitt behind the back end there as well. Unfortunately, Dad will go up and give him a clout with a slipper there as well. So, unfortunately for him, we have got a little bit of a warm-up now that we're going to sit back and just chill out for 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us. DM said to you, James, I have seen it, Mr. Sampson. I will let you know when I finish this broadcast, my dear sir. I have seen your DM and I will sort it out when I finish this one, if that's okay. I hope that's fine. Obviously, a little bit more difficult to try and type and control everything at the same time here as well. So, there you go. Not a bad start. The thing is, last season started off in the same way, right? It started getting a little bit chaotic. We'd had a word with some of the drivers as well, and obviously we will do the same. You know, we brought together so many people here from different communities. Knowing how each one drives is always going to be tough when you shout out, when you start here as well. A shout out to Esme, please, James. It's a big shout out to Esme for joining us. Now, Dan, is Esme your wife or your daughter? I've got a funny feeling, if I remember correctly, Esme and his other daughter designed a livery for Dan Lewis, if I'm not completely done there.
That rings a bell for me as well, you mentioning that.
Yeah, Esme and oh, what was it? Was it your other daughter, Dan? Let me know. Junior done well, defo better racer than Dad. Jamie, right? Me and you are going to have a word very shortly when we get into the GT4s on Wednesday, right? So, quite happy, to be honest, as I don't know the car, says PVG. Well, you better know the car, mate, because you've got 2 more races to go. So, there you go, as well. Correct, yes. What was your other daughter called, though, Dan? I can't remember the other one. There was 2 of them designed your livery, didn't they? They stuck their photos on the front. It's me and... oh, that's going to kill me. Let me know in chat, Dan, who your other little nipper was, because I can't remember who the other one was. Esme and Isla. That was it. Esme and Isla. Sorry, I've forgotten Turn 1's name. Would you possibly remind us? Yeah, Callum, what's Turn 1 called?
Female dog, mate.
Female dog.
Female dog. There we go. I did do a bit of research, not on the female dog or Turn 1. But
Okay.
I'd done a bit of research and I wanted to find a random fact, so I did.
Okay.
So I found out that your entire grid of all the Clios, take the horsepower from all them, put it all together, and it's the equivalent of having 12 F-22 fighter jets.
Nice. Well, there you
So
go.
there you go.
Are you racing in the GT4s, James? No, they don't give me a steering wheel. I'm up here in the booth with Callum, actually. Callum's joining me for the GT4s on Wednesday, so that should be a good one. 30-odd cars signed up, ready for go for that one. But I'm definitely not racing in that one there, Mr. Dengle, because I would probably... just wouldn't go well, to be honest. So, yeah, not doing any racing currently at the moment. I'm not even driving officials. I think the amount of time I spend commentating in iRacing, I go to bed dreaming of cars going around a circuit. So I tend not to do that there as well. So, okie dokie. So, I've just been informed by Mr. Roger Morton, one of the admins. I've messed the session up. There's only 2 races, so we'll have to manually set up the 3rd. So we're going to might have to take a quick break here before we get into the 3rd session. Okay, so yeah, just be aware on that one. There might be a break before we get into race 3. Unfortunately,
What have you done?
I haven't done anything. I don't do the sessions. Mr. Morton does them. So yeah, Mr. Morton does all the sessions. So there we go. Look at my boy, top of the timing tower in warm up. Bless him, giving it a good old go. He can get into the 116s. He's just, I don't know. Maybe he just got a little bit excited for his first one. So there we go. Bless him. He'll keep trying. Right, I'm going to bring you up the grid in a different kind of way this time, because obviously we've seen that it doesn't necessarily work last time. That is not what I want to see. How am I going to do this? It's not going to mess that up. Look at that. I don't know why that has gone like that, to be honest. Right, I'm going to bring you up the grid manually. Rob Williams is on pole, Craig Jones second, Andy Littler third, Alan McCain fourth, Carl Jacklett fifth, Paul Godden sixth, Danny Kazar in seventh, Mark Chappell eighth, Sam Van Olst ninth, Derek Crowther are your top 10. Sam Smith, Duncan Murray, Pete Van Gore, Wayne Palmer, Carl Ridley, Lee Deemer, Steve Burns, Morgan Butler, John O'Johnson and Newman. Well, Newman is supposed to be in first there, so Roger Morton's definitely got this a little bit wrong. In 20th there, Dan Lewis 21st, Dixon, Toon, Morton, Haddington, Hansford, Parfitt, Gibbons and Barry. So yeah, we'll give Roger Morton his due. He has just made a little bit of a boo-boo, and Rob Williams finds himself on pole in heat 3, considering we are only on heat 2, but the lights are coming on. 3, 4, 5, and here we go. We are away once more here at Virginia International, and it is Williams and Jones. Jones goes quite across, takes off Andy Littler's nose. Alan McCain trying to run around the outside. Carl Jacklett's decided to send it 3 wide. You don't want to go 3 deep into turn 1 because it's all going to go wrong. Is he going to be able to hit the brakes? Jackelet's trying to go up the inside of Williams. At the same time, Williams is on the outside. If he's not careful, he's on the grass.
He's off.
Oh, Williams is off.
Oh, there's a spin there as well in the background.
Yeah, Mark Chappell, Roger Morton. It's all gone a little bit awry. Further down the order, Derek Crowther, Mick Barry, Sir Alan Toon, Mark Chappell, Derek Crowther, and all got a little bit out of shape there as well. And unfortunately, they're all struggling currently at the moment here as well. Williams is not enjoying life currently at the moment. He's gone down 11 places from the start and is now sitting in 12th here as Pete Van Gaal goes off at the same time as well. Mick Barry's gone off again. Duncan Murray, Danny Kazar, all having an horrendous time here on the second race of race 2. It's all getting a little bit scrappy. Andy Littler is off as well, spinning off rapidly is Littler. Pete Newman is another one that's taken a diver off track, your previous winner. He's off as well. He's gone too deep into turn there, and unfortunately for him, into 11 and 12, he's now dropped down the order. But Duncan Murray here as well, up 7 places. John O'Johnson up 12 places. Absolutely stunning job from him. My boy's up 11, sitting in 15th currently at the moment. Go on, Ed, would you? Badass. Sitting in 15th there as well. And Carl Ridley has just gone up the inside of Duncan Murray, and so is John O'Johnson. There's battles going on all over the place.
Yeah, fantastic start to this race from all the drivers. Unfortunate for Rob at the start of the race, though, going wide there under pressure on the inside line that he was trying to defend as he went into the corner, but unfortunately didn't have enough on it. And then after that, a couple of extra slip-ups from further down the grid. So a bit unfortunate, but fingers crossed everything tidies up a bit more from now. The cars will be a bit more spread out, so there'll be a bit more space to breathe and things. And I think everyone has their race 3 tyres on at the minute, because I imagine they're all a bit confused as well, thinking that they're going into the consultation race. But yeah, in actual fact, they're not. So I think a lot of them are just kind of putting everything they got out on the line. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing the drivers are aware that there is still going to be a 3rd race. If not, that will explain everyone sort of going for positions very early doors, as you can see P3 there putting in the quickest time of the race, 1:15 flat almost. So not bad at all. And there you go, your Parfitt Junior is in 1:16.
Yeah, he is. He's doing a stellar job currently. He's fighting away here with Lee Deemer in the pros. He's got to get that stop, though. Deemer's going to take the inside. He's driving a little bit more conservative like this. I like this. That doesn't have to go up and give him a slip around the ear roll to get him to behave himself. He's sitting in 16th, up 11 places at the moment. I want to get involved in this, says Jordan Stradwick. Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Stradwick, what I will do for you is I will give you a Discord link. There we go. Join the Discord and then send me a DM and we can get you involved as well. This is the media day. Race 1 will be next week, okay? So race 1 will be next week, and that will be kicking off as well. It's going to be an absolute stellar race season. Oran Park next week, Sandown the week after, Sebring Club, Snetterton 200, Summit Point, Suzuka West, Twin Ring East, Knockhill, Watkins Glen, and then round 2 decided by your winner of season 1, which was Mr. Pete Newman. Sam Van Olst and Alan McCain fighting out here on track currently at the moment as they go down into the corner that shall not be named because it's too rude for the JPB broadcast. No, don't go 3 wide. Hit the brakes. Oh, he's going to hit the brakes, but he's going to hit the brakes straight into the back. Oh!
How they've made that work, I don't know, but that's pretty... Oh, no.
He didn't. Oh, Sam Van Olst and Stuart Gibbons there as well. Daniel Lewis unfortunately having it off at the same time. Sam Van Olst just loses the back end. And unfortunately there as well, there goes Stephen Burns. Yeah, at the same time, Williams is back up into 11th. Van Olst is having a horrible time in that car at the moment. Not entirely sure what is going on there with Sam Van Olst's vehicle, but Stuart Gibbons, Roger Morton, Pete Newman, Pete Van Gaal, Mark Crowther, Derek Crowther, Mark Chappell, Chris Dixon, having an absolute flying battle down in that midfield here as well. But yeah, currently, Sam Smith sitting in 5th place.
I think I should retire. I just had one of the worst commentators' curse so far of the evening, just saying how I can't believe they've made it work, and then look what I caused. So yeah, not my proudest moment of all time there, but hopefully things are a bit neater as they go through back round towards turn 1 again, and get another shot at going around here, and hopefully everything goes hunky-dory and they all get around nice and fine. You got the inside line there.
Oh, what's that contact with Jones and Duncan Murray? I'm wondering if that was contact or a big old that wonderful world of netcode that ventures into iRacing. Oh, I can't work that out, you know. We're going to have to go on the front left of Duncan, I think. We're going to have to look here. I've got this funny feeling. Oh, there was contact from Duncan Murray over Craig Jones there as well, and that sends Craig Jones off. Edward Parfitt here is currently sitting in 10th place with Steve Burns. Yeah, I know,
He's
P2 in the AMs. Oh boy, have some of it. And he's currently sitting in P2 in class, 11th overall, doing an absolute stellar job with his L plates on the front of his Clio there as well, with his livery design. And he's beating his pro teammate, Roger Morton, who's got P plates on. Absolutely stunning there as well from Mr. Parfitt Jr., doing an absolutely incredible job. And he's up 16 places, managed to avoid it, all the incidents, and he's currently sitting in 16th there as well. So great job from him there overall. Here, Callum, not a bad evening.
Not a bad evening at all. It's completely action-packed, and we're going to see more action leading into turn 1 here as well, with Sam Van Olst, and he's going to have to defend that inside line there because he's going to be put under pressure from Pete, who's desperately trying to get past him. As you can see, the brakes really hot.
No, get it on track, son. Oh, he does do. He saves it. Now he's got the ever-looming Sam Van Olst behind him here as well. This could be an interesting one for my boy to see how he handles this pressure. As there is the Goldwing of Sam Van Olst right behind him. Currently at the moment he's on a 1:16.75, his best time. Oh, Van Olst is hard on the brakes. Look how close they are. Currently at the moment as he's going out of turn 10. Is he going to be able to defend this line off here? This could be an interesting one here from a boy with L plates. How's he going to get on here, Callum?
It's going to be tense, that's for sure, and I think there was a little bit of bumper to bumper between those two, but then he's managing to hold it so far, and he's going to hold the inside line. A bit of contact there, but manages to keep it. Both of them manage to keep it on track, but he hasn't got the momentum to keep the position, so he's going to lose out on position now.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's tried to tug him behind, I guess not realised that Pete's there. He didn't check his blind spot. That's in the exam to get the P plates. He didn't check his blind spot, unfortunately, and made contact with Pete. So very unfortunate for Ed there, having a great race up until that point.
As he's trying to tuck him behind, and unfortunately he's just took out previous champion Pete Newman as well. So unfortunately for him, it's going to be a tough one here for him to recover as he's jumped back into the pits to get his fast repair done once more here as well. So unfortunately for him, he's not done himself any favours on that one, but there we go, boy. Live and learn, live and learn.
Live and learn, indeed. I'm sure he'll come back stronger as well for the final race of the evening. So it's one thing to remember for anyone that is just tuning in. There will be another race after this. It isn't just this one and done. There is another one coming up after this. There'll be a short break in between. But a bit of an off track there for someone else towards the end of the track as well. So not sure who that was, but they're facing completely the wrong way. So hopefully they're back on track now. But you can see what a little battle we have here at the start from P1 to P7. They're all fairly close, and then there's a bit of breathing space between P7 to P8. So there's a little room for error for the guy at the back for P7, but there's not much room for error for these front four, especially considering how close they are at the moment.
Yeah, Wayne Palmer currently sitting in 7th place here as well, with Morgan Butler tucked in 4th there. So unfortunately for him, he's going to have to try and get past Jono Johnson and Sam Smith here once more. As we're going into the final 10 minutes, we've just broken the final 10-minute barrier. Danny Kazar and Chris Dixon also mixing it up currently at the moment here as well. And he's fighting it. Mick Barry's just got off the side of the circuit, unfortunately for him. So he's going to be under pressure currently at the moment.
Yeah, I have to admit, that's one thing I struggle with is when it comes to pressure, having someone in your mirrors or someone just in front of you, you're trying to put on the pressure. It's not something I'm able to do. So props to all these guys and what they're doing so far. Everything very close. And we're having not only a good battle at the front with all the pros, but I'm just seeing between P1 to P24, there's also a close battle for the AMs there at the back of the grid as well. So that's good for those guys. There's battles going on all over the pack, which is nice to see. And jump on board with one of my teammates, Rob Williams, who's currently side by side leading up into turn 1 into Thou Shall Not Be Mentioned, and it's going to try and get the outside line, possibly look for the switchback and get on the inside leading into the S's. No. But unfortunately he doesn't have the time or momentum, so he's not going to be able to make that position work for him.
Yeah, unfortunately not on this time around. It is Williams down in 12th place currently at the moment. Kazar fighting out with Dixon. He's got their inside line as these guys are running around turn 3 and 4. Kazar's on the left, Dixon's on the right there. Kazar goes through, job done. Steve Hansford's trying to go around the outside of turn 1. Doesn't make it over Andy Littler, and unfortunately for him, he drops off back here. Sam Smith going for it with Duncan Murray. They're going to be side by side. Murray from Team Goldwyn. Smith from iRace Esports with Jono Johnson from SRL tucked in right behind him as well. And unfortunately, it's all going to be as it is once more on this rundown into turn 1. 9 minutes remaining here. Let's see how this one turns out.
It's going to be it's not one of those races that you want to put money on any racer, because anything could happen, and any of these guys between P1 and 7 can easily win this race. And obviously if there is calamity at the front, 8th and 9th at the minute could potentially pounce, but as long as everything goes smoothly, I mean, it's up for grabs for really anyone in the top sort of 6-7 cars. So yeah, it's going to be hard to tell who's going to win this. With only 8 minutes to go, they've sort of got to get a move on if they want to try and make any last minute moves in this race to make the position set and get hopefully on the top step of that podium with Duncan, who's currently holding it off quite well so far.
Yeah, he's defending hard. Here's Mr. Murray as he's going around turn 7, or technically known as the fishhook for Duncan Murray. He's got Sam Smith, Jono Johnson, Morgan Butler, Carl Ridley all up beside him at the moment. You can see the gap on the left-hand side is 1.9 seconds back to 6th place Carl Jacklett, who's trying to get onto the back of Carl Ridley here as well. Duncan Murray has got 5 cars within a second. A big puff of smoke from Murray. He's trying to now, is he going to lose momentum to Smith going down the straight? Is he going to be doing it? They're going to be too wide into turn 1. Here we go. Smith's on the inside. Murray's trying to get over. He's not going to be able to. Smith's going to take it down into turn 1. He's going to get the lead overall. Is Jono Johnson going to follow him through at the same time? He's pushed Murray out. Murray could be into a dangerous position here. There's contact from Duncan Murray over Sam Smith. Jono Johnson's trying to go up the inside. Murray's off on the grass. He's trying to bring it back. Butler's now getting the run. Round 3 and 4. And if Murray's not careful, he's going to go down the order faster than me eating a Big Mac here. I'll tell you that much. And he does manage to hold on to 3rd place with Morgan Butler behind him.
Oh, the talk of Big Macs is getting me hungry now. It's getting my appetite going, that is. But so is this racing at the minute, with everyone looking still pretty close at the minute. A couple of gaps between a couple of different packs, but those packs are looking very tight indeed. And as you can see, there's only 2 tenths splitting the top 2 at the minute anyway, with Sam Smith currently as your leader.
Yeah, there's big puff of smokes there as well from the cars in front. Carl Ridley still battling it out in 5th place currently at the moment. Another puff of smoke. Jono Johnson sitting in 2nd. He's got to try and get past Smith. Sir Alan Toon and Steve Hansford here as well. Sir Alan Toon going for it with Hansford coming into that tricky corkscrew section. Hansford makes it through. Sam Van Ol still under attack from Pete Van Gaal. Williams is still trying to get on and keep hold of Pete Newman. That's going to be a tough one. The defending champion here as well, Mr. Newman, who is doing an absolute stellar job there as well. Stuart Gibbons back into the pits, unfortunately for him once more, but Morgan Butler is under attack from Carl Ridley. There's action all the way through the field. PVG is side by side with Sam Van Ols, leaning on Van Ols round turn 1 as he's now heading off. So Van Ols is going to have that inside line once more here, and PVG does make it through. Carl Ridley once more in 5th, up 10 places. Jono Johnson currently out 17. It's all going off here in the Clios.
That's one of the best cars to be racing if you want tight racing. It seems at the minute is the Clios. The Clio Cup is always fantastic, especially this one in particular, this race series, because this league, because there's so many cars out on track at once, and because the tracks are smaller, it brings all the action all together. So it's always a good watch and great fun to be a part of as well. So yeah, top notch from these guys so far, and great entertainment for us in the booth and for everyone at home.
Yeah, absolutely there as well. So stellar job from these guys. The second gap starting to open up to Duncan Murray with Morgan Butler. Jono Johnson's trying to go up the inside of Smith. He's got to get that Clio stopped. Murray's got to get it stopped as well. Ridley's trying to defend from Jacklett. He's now turned into a 6-car horse race. No, 6-car, yeah, that would do. 6-car race here at the front of the field as the commentator gets all these words mixed up currently at the moment as they go into that corkscrew section and once more off around turn 6 currently at the moment. So it's going to be a tough job for everyone. We've got a few people down a lap. Jason Hannington is down a lap as well. My boy's down a lap. Mick Barry and Craig Jones, unfortunately, down a lap there once more. Chris Dixon fighting it out with Paul Godden further down in 16th and 17th place. This is a battle for 4th and 5th in the AMS currently at the moment, but that front 5 are still close together. They've dropped off Carl Jacklett a little bit, but not by much, Callum.
Yeah, not by much at all, and we've only got 3 or 4 minutes left of this session to go of technically the consultation race, this one, so there's not long left at all. So this is where, like we saw at the end of race 1, this is where it gets nitty gritty, and this is where people are really going to start pushing, because obviously when you're in the sort of this first group, you know, 6 or 7 cars, well, top 6, sorry, in this group, you know, in the reverse grid, you're going to be somewhere middle or back area, and the best thing you can do right now is just push for every single point you can get. So you really do want to try and claw your way up there, especially if you're in Jackelet's position where you see yourself 6th and you're like, well, the reverse grid isn't going to do me much good, so you got to push, you got to get what you can, and drafting a slipstream, all that's going to come in handy hopefully in these last few laps. I don't think you notice it much in these cars though. I haven't heard many people say you notice it much.
No.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but hopefully there is some effect for the likes of Carl Jacklett, who's at the back of this pack at the minute, see if he can get himself in there in the mix, fighting in the last couple of minutes of this race.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one here for all of these guys. The aero and that is very minimal currently at the moment, so it's not providing, there isn't a massive amount of downforce on these cars. The draft is not particularly strong, and these guys are going to have to try and do it all on track. Duncan Murray defending hard from Morgan Butler. Butler's just about nearly trying to go up the inside. Big lock up from Smith currently at the front of the field. We've got this one and one more to go, and it's going to be tricky as they're coming into now 24th place is Steve Hansford. For Hansford's sake, he wants to get through this section because there's the leaders behind him, and he's got to get out of the way, and he's going to do it in a way that hopefully he won't be stuck in a rock and a hard place, because where he was in race 1, Callum, was a little bit unfortunate for Steve Hansford.
It's just wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately for him. But fingers crossed this one goes a bit smoother, and if he can play his cards right and get through these last few turns, the big straight in this entire lap leading up into turn one is going to be his best bet to let this entire group go, so he can have a bit of clean air himself and possibly even see if he can keep pace with these guys and maybe learn a trick or two for this last race of the evening as we get into that in a little while from now. But last minute of the race, so it's going to be tense between this top group. We'll see what happens, but it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be anything like you've got an easy winner. It's not going to be a Max Verstappen F1 show, that's for certain.
Yeah, he needs to lift. You need to lift badly, otherwise you're not an ideal scenario. That would have been a big old lift, and shifting it out of the way, because you're going to get caught in a very difficult situation as Morgan Butler's flashing Steve Hansen frantically to try and remove him there as well. Not an ideal scenario. Jacquelette's gone wide in the background now as well. Butler's trying to almost push Hansford through, and he's got to try and remove that situation currently at the moment. He is under this blue flags, and as you know, that could have been avoided a little bit there, I've got to be honest, as it could have been a little bit more facilitated early on that one.
Yeah, I thought the ideal time was on the straight, let the whole group go by, and he would have had some clean air. He may not have realised this, but he would have had some clean air. As soon as that group of 6 or 7 cars is gone, you've got a good couple of seconds space there for to gain some ground. But your race winner coming across, Sam Smith coming across the line in P1, Butler P2, and Ridley rounding off your Johnson P2 and Butler P3 ran off your podium spots.
Yeah, Crowther is going to take another victory in the AMS here. Derek Crowther does take the victory with Williams is going to be in second place in the AMS there. Stunning job from him, with Danny Kazar behind him once more as he comes over the line. Danny Kazar takes the third place spot in the AMS currently here as well, and last man across the order will be Sir Alan Toon in 22nd place here as well. So unfortunate there for Sir Alan Toon, but he's coming round turn 10 currently at the moment.
Yeah, seeing Toon coming around the final turns here on the course, and before we jump into a little break, before we get the third and final race up and ready for these guys, so they'll get a minute or two to relax and try and regain their breath and energy before the final race of the evening, as you see Alan Toon just pull into the pits there to round off the second race of the evening.
Yeah, he didn't go all the way down the line, unfortunately, so we needed a bit further, Mr. Toon, there as well. So we'll pull up the race results for the feature in the Sim Life sponsored Clio Cup. Sam Smith is your winner, Jono Johnson second, Morgan Butler third, Carl Ridley fourth, Carl Jacklett fifth, Steve Burns sixth, Duncan Murray seventh, Alan McCain eighth, Pete Van Gould ninth, Sam Van Ols 10th, Derek Crowther 11th, Wayne Palmer 12th, Pete Newman 13th, Rob Williams 14th, Danny Kazar 15th, Paul Godden 16th, Chris Dixon 17th, and Lee Deemer is the last man on in 18th place. Andy Littler 19th, Dan Lewis 20th, Mark Chappell 21st, Stuart Gibbons 22nd, Sir Alan Toon 23rd, Steve Hansford 24th, Roger Morton 25th, Jason Anderton 26th, Edward Parfitt 27th. Then we've got Mick Barry, Stuart Gibbons and Craig Jones behind that one as well. So that is it for now, guys. We're going to jump onto a quick BRB screen and we'll be right back once the next session is set up here. Okay, guys, we are back. We're going to open this up with a interview with Mr. Carl Jacklett. Good evening, Carl. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Recovering.
Recovering from from which bit, young sir?
I did something silly the other day and self-harmed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't want to do that. How's the racing been for you?
Racing is a tonic. It really is. That last one was good. Really enjoyed that. Great first lap. Diving down the inside, being a bit cheeky but safe. But then I fell off. I expect you were probably talking about me, so that's probably what did it.
No, surely not. To be honest with you, Carl, to be fair, you keeping up with the action in race 2 there, weren't a bad start at all, was it?
No, it was very good. The racing was good. The pace was good. Just got stopped making silly mistakes, but the hands are still sore at the moment, so I've got the steering turned down quite a lot, so it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah, it definitely is there as well. Looking forward to race 3 though, bud? Final race of the season, season in the evening?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Race 3 in touring car racing, what could possibly go wrong?
Not a lot with Clios, mate. Come on, you know that. What could happen?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
I've seen quite a few Clios on their roof in their time.
Definitely there as well, Carl. But thank you so much for joining us, bud. We'll let you get ready for race 3.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for hosting this series. It's going to be a brilliant one, I'm sure.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for that. Right, there was Carl Jacklett. And he's joined us there. Callum, going into race 3, 4 minutes left to practice. It's going to be an eventful one, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is 100%. You can see some of the cars getting some early door practice on there. You can see Parfitt Jr. just coming off the grass area there, just pulling off into a slightly different spot to normal and starting his lap from a different position. But maybe tactical. These guys are going to try and get every little bit of practice they can, using every second they have of this pre-race practice before the final one of the evening, because this is ultimately the one where we're going to see most of the cars push to get as high up the grid as they can, because they know it's the last race now. It's very evident that that's the case. So it is a case of for some of these cars all or nothing in a way. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to see some great action coming up.
Yeah, I'm sure we probably will here as well. So it's going to be an absolutely stellar race 3. Mr. Fell's just joined us. I've skimmed through race 1 and race 2, ready for race 3. Come on, Mr. Crowther, smashing it, and Jono flying. Jono Johnson is doing an absolutely stellar job currently at the moment as well. So he is flying along nicely. He was second in race 1, second in race 2, and Crowther's taken both victories in the AMs there as well. So an absolutely stellar job from him. We're just going to get to the end of the practice session. We've got about another 2 minutes. We're waiting for some more cars to join us on track. Obviously we had to change sessions because Mr. Morton made a mistake when he set up the session, and unfortunately didn't have a race 3 on it, so we have now provided it here as well. So a lot of cars still joining in, and hopefully they will notice that there is a third race coming up here as well. There are a few spaces left as well, guys. If you want to get yourself involved, give me a shout. You can either DM me or tag me in the Discord, and I'll look and see how many we've got here as well. I think we're up to 36. I think there's 4 places left here, and there's 5 left, I think, on the GT4s. The GT4s, you can still sign up through the website. It's just the Clios that closed off. There was an error on the sheet that basically picked up saying that the sign-ups were full, and it closed the sign-offs. But unfortunately there were some drivers that had clicked submit a few times, and unfortunately it registered that they'd submitted 3 times. I think Sam Van Olst was 3 times registered on the sheet here that we had, so unfortunately it closed off. But the GT4s, you still can sign up through the website. Okay, so head over to www.jpbroadcasting.com, click on League Racing, click on GT4s, and then you can get yourself signed up for that one if you still want to on that one. So we are just waiting now. We've got literally about a minute and 10 I should say left here as well before we go into the final race of the evening. So it's going to be a good one. Stay tuned for this, and welcome in Mr. Fertile there as well. I've seen a few going very deep into turn 1. Yes, what is turn 1 called, Callum?
Female dog, that one.
Female dog, that's what we've called it. Well, that and turn 1 that shall not be named.
Yeah.
So, yeah, quite an interesting one there as well, as Callum refuses to say the name completely of turn 1. So there we go. John Higgins, hey guys, sorry couldn't make media day, but we'll be there for the first meeting next week. Catch you then, John Higgins Senior. I am looking forward to seeing you on track, sir. I think it's going to be absolutely epic to have you on track. So great job there as well. Thank you so much for joining us as well. And yeah, it should be a good one. Mark will be back in the booth with me next week. Callum's going to join me on Wednesdays for the GT4 series. So that's going to be an exciting one as well, as we've got 34, I think, signed up for that. So all in all, it's been quite a full season again. And don't forget, we've still got the BDLV as well, the Big Dreams Little Voices charity event we're doing on June 11th. So if you want to submit a car for that, 2 drivers minimum, 6 hours of Watkins Glen. Links down in the description below. Join the JPB Discord. The track goes the other way, Danny. Unfortunately for him, he's completely missed it and gone off track. Right, I'm going to hope this restart may have fixed this grid situation. No, it hasn't. I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that. Pete Newman is on pole, Carl Ridley second, Sam Smith third, Sam Van Os fourth, Steve Burns will be fifth, Pete Van Gaal sixth, Duncan Murray seventh, Alan McCain eighth, Wayne Palmer ninth, Lee Deemer 10th, Paul Godham will lead the AMS, Roger Morton in 12th, Steve Hansford 13th, Carl Jacklett 14th, Rob Williams 15th, Daniel Lewis 16th, Danny Kazar 17th, Craig Jones 18th, Mick Barry 19th, Jason Anderson 20th, Mark Chappell 21st, Andy Littler 22nd, Edward Parfitt 23rd, Sir Alan Toon 24th, and Chris Dixon will be in 25th place there. The cars at the front will be Mr. Newman, and that's going to be challenging for everyone to get past him really quickly, Callum.
That is, I mean, we saw how good and how strong Newman was in race 1 to get the victory there, and hopefully he can replicate that for race number 3 and get 2 wins overall today. That'll be good.
Yeah, lights are coming on there as well. Race 5 lights, and we are underway. There goes Newman, there goes Ridley, there goes Smith. Ridley comes over and blocks the inside line away from Van Os and also Smith here as he's going down into turn 1 currently at the moment. As he's going to go for it now. Is Ridley going to try and get past Smith? Newman on the outside. That's going to be a tough one here as well. He doesn't make it through this time. Newman holds on to it. Further back, Lee Deemer as well. There's Mark Chappell, I believe that was as well, trying to get a bit loose. Oh, he's into Barry. A bit of chaos at the back there, unfortunately for him. And he takes out Mark Chappell all at the same time here as well. And Mr. Parfitt Jr. weaves his way through, sitting in 17th place, up 6 places. But it is Ridley out in front with Van Os and Newman in 3rd place.
Yeah, a bit of an intense start. A good start from the top half of the grid, and then got a bit tense through the mid pack to the rear of the pack. So yeah, I think there's a bit of I think I'll blame Alpha Thurtle for that. Talking about turn 1 that much kind of got all the drivers a bit excited, and they got a bit too happy on the exit there. So hopefully things will calm down a bit more from now. But as they come around to finish off lap number 1, and Newman's already chasing down Ridley for the lead, I think this is going to be a race-long battle, this one, between Newman and Ridley.
Yeah, definitely will be there as well. Danny Kazar sitting down in 10th. He's got Rob Williams beside him as well. Williams is trying to go around the outside of 1. In the mix as well is also Craig Jones. Jones is going to try and go up the inside. If he slots in behind Kazar, he'll be able to muscle Williams out of that line, and he did do. Williams is now trying to come back in front of Sam Smith. Alan McCain has gone off. Very, 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 very off. And unfortunately for him, he's gone down the escape road out at turn 1 currently at the moment. So for him, it's not been an ideal race, this one as well. Oh, just as I pick up Mr. Parfitt Jr., he gets ceremoniously tapped out, I think, from Jason Haddington there. And unfortunately, he keeps it out of the barrier, but unfortunately drops all the way down into 20th place there, unfortunately for him. I think me and Mr. Haddington, the other admin in the league, will have to have a conversation about that one, taking out the boy.
I don't think you paid him enough, James. I think there was a bit of they're missing a couple of zeros in that paycheck there before the race, unfortunately. But unlucky for those two. There's unlucky incident, but fingers crossed. Parfitt Jr. will be able to bring it back. I mean, we've seen him do it in couple of races now, so I'm sure we can see him work his way back up the grid because he's had some decent pace throughout tonight, to be fair.
Yeah, he's been down in the middle 116s, so he's not too far off the pace. So he's going to have to keep fighting his way through. Lee Dima has just gone past Roger Morton. Morton there as well. Danny Kazar almost lost it with under braking with Sam Smith tucked up right behind him. Wayne Palmer from SimLife Simstickers, of course, the sponsors of today's event. Please go and check them out, simstickers.co.uk, simlife.co.uk, down in the description below there as well. Unfortunately, Steve Burns and Sam Van Olst. Oh no! There's Sam Van Olst there. Was Barnes just went in? Oh, they both did it. No, did they? No, no. Oh, Van Olst comes back on track and unfortunately into Burns there. And that's unfortunately at the end of that one. Duncan Murray trying to run round the outside currently as well. He's going to go up the inside of Wayne Palmer, and Palmer loses out on 11th and 12th. And up front, Ridley is slowly getting under attack there as well. So unfortunately there, it's a bit of a harsh one. I'm sorry, James Jr. cut across the bonnet. Did he though? Did he really? We'll have a look back and we'll see whether or not he did that. I'm sure he probably didn't. Did he? Yes. All right, he did. Never mind. I'll go and take the slipper to Mr. Parfitt Jr. Senior there as well. Favourite words from John Higgins Senior, who went and had a little word with his boy after one of the races last season for his exploits in one of the races. It was quite funny. It was produced a good 15 minutes of content for me and Mark Fletcher to have a chat about. Maybe, Dad, I might have to go up and slip at my son and tell him to be a bit more careful when he's trying to cut across. But it is his first league race he's ever done, so I'll let him off a little bit. You know what I mean? It is his first one here as well. So he is currently down now trying to battle with Chris Dixon here and going to try and take it up the inside. Oh, he got the move done. He got the move done over Chris Dixon and is now up into 19th place currently. And see that? He can battle cleanly.
Yeah, he's got it in the locker. He's definitely got it. There's a question for you in the chat actually from Alpha Fertile. Is how old is Parfitt Jr.? He
is 18. He is
wow.
He was 18 this year. So there we go. Ridley's on the defensive from Mr. Newman. He's 18, yeah, he's 18 and it's his first league race there as well. Yeah, get the slipper out, says John Higgins. I will do, mate. I'll go up and give me crock and clonk him around here. Oh dear, bless him. As I say, it's his first ever league race. He wanted to sign up. I didn't want him joining other leagues. As we all know, there's various multiple scrupulous leagues out there that will take money, and I said to him, no, come and join up and get yourself involved. It's a good place to start for him. So he's learning constantly here as Ridley and Newman fighting out, as is Dima and Godon. And then behind that we've got Roger Morton and Carl Jacklett, Sam Smith, Danny Kazar and Craig Jones fighting out as well here. So it's all getting very tight. Once more, Littler's just... What? Oh, he's on his roof. Oh. Why is he on his roof? What went on here? Oh, Mr. Parfitt Jr. to put him on his roof. Oh, he spun it up. Oh. Oh, well, that wasn't completely his fault. There were other cars coming in there, unfortunately for him, and he did end up on his roof. But what, you know, can't help that one. That wasn't his fault. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. And then the interview just before this race as well, Jacklett was mentioning how he's seen plenty of Clios on their roof in his time. So his statement clearly showing there. So a bit unfortunate for Parfitt Jr. and fingers crossed everything's all right in the car there. And he's probably going to come through and give a race instant report to you very shortly, I imagine. Anyway, so hopefully he had good fun while he was at it.
Yeah, he did. I spoke to him briefly on the break. I was like, you just got to be... I said, you realise who you took out? He went, what do you mean? I said, you took out defending champion Pete Newman. He said, I did apologise, Dad. I said, yeah, I know, but just be a little bit careful, mate. He said, I didn't realise he was that close behind me. So, unfortunately for him, he wiped out Pete Newman, but Newman is out in front currently at the moment. He's doing well for the first ever league race, causing less chaos than what I've seen you cause, James. Well, yeah, that's also true. But then he ends up on his roof, Mr. Fertile, so, you know, not all bad. And Sam Smith battling away here with Carl Jacklett. Not entirely sure why Jacklett's livery is not loading up there. Unfortunately, he's got the standard black, yellow and red livery, so apologies for that one. Not entirely sure what's happened there. But it is Morton, Jacklett and Smith battling away in the middle. Oh, Jacklett's livery is back. So he's back to being optical green.
Oh, contact. Deep into thou shall not be mentioned.
Yeah.
Is straight into the tyres for those two, unfortunately, for Sam Smith, and he's gone straight back to the pits.
Yeah.
Looks like Jacklett's going to carry on, though.
Yeah, too deep into turn one. There's been an incident with Andy Littler. He's ended up in the wall as well. And unfortunately for him, he's not done ideal. Morton is still under attack from Danny Kazar. Pete Van Gaal sitting in third place currently with Duncan Murray right behind him here as well as we go into the last 12 minutes.
Going to be a tense 12 minutes as well. I mean, people are obviously going to be pushing as much as they can to get as high up at the grid as they can, but especially with Ridley's going to want to put the pressure on as much as they possibly can to get that 7/10 closed down to Newman up at the top. But you've got battles all over the field at the minute. I mean, for another example, look, P11 to P12, there's not much in it there, and then you've got P9, P10. You know, even battle for P3 as we can see here. Everything's tight all over the grid, which is always great to see. No matter where you are, you're going to have experiences. And on the inside there, P Van Gaal is going to try and maintain position, and they come down to the S's bit of grass there on the inside. But yeah, so far, a bit of a lock up. I was going to say so far so good, but I think premature commentator's curse there, I think, for me.
Yeah, it was as well. And Arthur Fertile said they clashed swords going into turn one. Oh dear. I'm going to have to seriously think about the track choices next season, mate. I'm not going to lie. It was quite amusing when I read it, but now it's just becoming a bit of a commentator's nightmare, is turn one. So there we go.
That's a bold message. The last one, I'm not gonna go through with that. But that's a bold message I've just seen there in the chat from David.
No, Mr. Rez is the answer. No is the answer on that one. Definitely not going to be doing that because, you know, as much as that would crease me up, I think I might end up dying. Danny Kazar, Roger Morton side by side going down into turn one. Morton's gone in a little bit deep. Kazar went in a bit deeper and he's clearly did more there. Danny Kazar, he's come out of turn one and he's quite happy at the moment. Pete Van Gaal, oh no, PVG. What did you do here? Down into turn one. There's a defensive move from one of the Simstickers boys. Oh, PVG goes in, unfortunately, too deep there as well. And he goes off. But Morton still trying to defend from Kazar. Morton in the 92 JPB Racing car, teamed up with my boy. Morton's got P plates, my son's got L plates. So that's quite ironic, really, but there we go. And it's all getting a little bit close here now as well.
Yeah, it certainly will. And there's a lot of smoke there on the final turns. As you can see all the cars there coming in, hard braking and locking up that rear right wheel as they get through the last two turns, try and get the best run they possibly can up the straight. As you can see there, the battling between Orton and Casars going into thou shall not be named at high speeds. You know, you want to get the best run you possibly can leading into it and try and get that inside line. As you can see, people really fighting for that. There's a bit of contact there behind. I'm not too sure who's part of that. Jones is one of them.
And Van Oost, Jones and Van Oost making contact there as well. Morton and Kazar going too wide round turn one. Managed to hold on to it. Kazar drops down through the corkscrew section. It's like part of Laguna Seca. Morton's trying to get up behind him. Big puff of smoke out in front. I believe that might have been Paul Godden up the road from the Simless Life Stick team as well. Rob Williams. No, all on his own into turn one. What has he done now? Oh, he's just got in way too deep there. More and poor old Robert Williams is off. Canazar has jumped Morton. Morton's now got Burns behind him for company. Oh! Ooh. No, he has not anymore. Sam Van Ols slips up the inside as Steve Burns and Roger Morton come to contact. Morton's now going to come out behind Craig Jones. This should be an interesting one. Battle of the admins here. And Van Ols and Burns going at it down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, unfortunate for Morton there. You know, not the best situation for him coming into the last couple of turns, but at least he got a bit of experience in the horticultural world and started mowing some grass out there, though, with his Clio. So they do have more than one use. They are very good for lawnmowers as well. But as Sam's kindly demonstrated for me, as if on cue there, and you can see how well that does mow the grass as he gets back on track, nice and safely coming down into the S's.
Duncan Murray's got Wayne Palmer behind him. Palmer now about 7 tenths to 8 tenths back currently at the moment at one of your closest battles on track currently at the moment. 7 minutes remaining. Let's check in here. He's still running, still going for it. He's down in 21st place is Mr. Parfitt Jr. there as well. I bet if you ask turn 1, none of the drivers have done it right yet. No, I bet, but I'm not going to get it. You are. I'll tell you what, Arthur Burtle. Oh no! Alan McCain going off. Parfitt Jr. checks up to make sure he doesn't go into the side of Mr. McCain there. And he's holding off. Well done. Good boy. Didn't make the move. And obviously Dad's slipper talk into the end of the last race has done it well. But Danny Kazar's still got Steve Burns closing in as well. I'm sure 3 wide is possible, says John Higgins Sr. into turn 1.
That's not a sight I want to have in my head right now. So going to move swiftly on from that and just remind people that at the minute Godden is the P1 for the AMS at the moment, and Kazar P2 with Dixon currently holding off Williams for P3 at the moment. Williams looking to get second podium of the evening as well, I believe, tonight. So yeah, trying to keep the bad images that appear in my head from this chat away and focus on Duncan. Well, Stephen Burns defending there. So, yeah, moving swiftly on.
Stephen Burns with Danny Kazar. Kazar made a mistake coming out of Fishhook, which is turn 9. Unfortunately, you haven't got great turn corner names. You've obviously got turn 1, Spiral, Fishhook, South Bend and Oak Tree here as well. Burns gone up the inside of Kazar. Kazar just keeping it on track now and going to allow these guys to try and chase down Paul Godden for him here as well. Danny Kazar sitting in right behind him currently at the moment.
Going to be very tight stuff to come up just within the last 5 minutes of the race, of the final race of the evening. So now things are getting to that gritty point again, and as you can see on the brakes nice and early there, leading into Thou Shall Not Be Named, and almost touching the grass on the exit there for Kazar, but he's let the door open, and Van Ols has said thank you very much and swung that door open and went through it like McDonald's had a deal on. Like, that's exactly how I'll be showing up.
Oh,
swinging the door open straight through. 1 Big Mac from my Monopoly, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes Paul Godden. He's got Steve Burns tucked up right behind him as they're going into Fishhook now, turn 7. They sweep through underneath there as well. Godden's out of shape. A little bit of contact with Burns, a little bit of door rubbing. Duncan Murray trying to, Sam Van Ols, trying to get involved as well from the Goldwing Motorsport team. He's trying to go up round the outside as they drop down now. We jump on board with Burns. We're going to go on board with Van Ols. He's going to be going into turn 11 here. Burns manages to hold on. Where is Kazar? I thought Kazar would have been up the inside there. The door was wide open for him and he just didn't make it through. Duncan Murray trying to close down or get away from Palmer. Palmer's closing down currently at the moment as Murray goes into turn 1. So Steve Burns and also Sam Van Ols, Danny Kazar and Paul Godden still going for it out on track. Godden leading the AMS, of course, on the defensive. Into turn 1 he goes. Burns right behind him. They're almost too deep into turn 1. And here we go once more. It's been an absolute stellar race.
Oh, I can't keep the composure. It's gone. It's gone. But Godden's going to be really happy that he's got 2... he's going to be happy with his position overall, but even more happy that he's got 2 pros sitting behind him. So at the minute, he's got 2 cars between him and P2 of the AMS category. So as I'm sure he's keeping better composure than what I am at the minute in the booth with just a name of a turn. He's keeping nice and composed with 3 or 4 cars trying to attack behind him at the minute. As we look through Alan McCain coming through turn 1 at the moment, and Parfitt Jr. just in the background there trying to sneak up as well.
I believe he's at lap car though, so I'm hoping he doesn't go and sneak up and he stays well away from what goes on, unless McCain makes a big mistake like he almost nearly did there. Parfitt Jr. doing a 1:16.27 last time. We did say he had the pace, didn't he? He just... that awareness of not moving alongside the track's going to come as the season goes on, right? You know, I've made sure he had his spotter on. I made sure he had everything running to make sure that he was up and going and not making mistakes, unfortunately. But I guess from his point of view, it's a little bit sort of a big throw when all of a sudden you've been chucked into a league race compared to what it is doing officials. Carl Jacklett is another man here as well as he's coming down into turn 1. Jacklett being chased down by Mr. Jones here.
Yeah, just watching these two as they sort of trying to creep up on each other in the last couple of minutes now of the race. There's not much to go at all. Final lap will be coming up very, very shortly. So not much to give in terms of time at the minute. So Peter Newman's going to try and do his best. Just keep things very smooth. Got a large gap between him and Duncan at the minute for P1 and P2. So he's just got to try and keep composed and make use of getting past these back markers as quickly and swiftly as possible and bring home another race victory for the evening.
Yeah, it's Newman there out in front. Godin still hanging on from Barnes. Vano still behind him with Kazar behind that as well. So these guys are still battling away as they go over the final lap of the race. And what a race it's been here as well. Newman's led from start to finish. In fact, I'm not confident. I'm going to write his name down as the winner here as well, as he's got a long gap to 17th place, which is his next lap's car, which is Jason Haddington. Burns is trying to go around the outside. We're on board with Danny Kazar. Kazar can see it all happening. Godden defending like an absolute trooper. He's now got Van Olst running around the outside. We can see Van Olst just through the rear view mirror of Steve Burns. Van Olst is trying to go sweep round the outside. Is there going to be contact? Godden holds on once more as he goes round turn 6 currently at the moment. Paul Godden doing an absolute stellar job. Dropped down into AMS this season. Danny Kazar trying to run around the outside of Steve Burns. Round turn 7 they go. Is he going to be able to hold it? He's not. But here comes Pete Newman for his another victory here this evening. Newman comes across, takes a win in race 3 there as well. An absolutely stellar job from Newman, with Murray in 2nd place. And also Wayne Palmer taking an excellent 3rd place there in the Pro class. Paul Godden does hang on to the AMS, and he hangs on in front of 2 pros of Sam Van Olst and Steve Burns. Absolute stellar job from him. It's going to be Burns. Is it going to be Van Olst? It's Van Olst takes it over Burns. Danny Kazar comes across the line in 2nd place, and then we're going to have Chris Dixon, who's going to get himself onto the podium for 3rd here as he's coming around the final corner. Manages to hang on from Mr. Williams, who takes a 4th place there. Not a bad evening there as well. You'd get worried getting a nudge from behind when Junior has not done bad for his first ever race. No, I will go and have a nice little word with him, tell him how good he done, and well done to him. He's, you know, if he goes across the line in a 1:16, there he is there, finishing up his evening here as well, and his last lap was a 1:17.5, so not a bad evening there as well. Jason Haddington will be the last car to come over the line, and mixing it up there as well for Jason Haddington. So well done to everybody involved. I know it was tough changing sessions over. I will speak to Roger Morton and sack him. It'll be all right. Here we go. Pete Newman is your winner. Duncan Murray in 2nd. Wayne Palmer 3rd. Lee Deemer 4th. Carl Ridley 5th. Paul Godden takes the AM victory in 6th. Sam Van Olst 7th. Steve Burns 8th. Danny Kazar in 9th. Carl Jacklett 10th. Craig Jones in 11th. Roger Morton in 12th. Chris Dixon 13th. Rob Williams 14th. Alan McCain 15th. Dan Lewis 16th. Jason Anderson 17th. Sir Alan Toon down in 18th place. Then beyond that, we've got Andy Littler, Steve Hansford, Edward Parfitt, Pete Van Gaal, Mark Chappell, and then Sam Smith and Mick Barry bring up the rear here as well. So much love to everybody. I hope you've had a very interesting evening. Let's see if we can have a chat with anyone who jumps into the booth. Does Junior have a setup for the car? No, I don't believe he does. I think he was running with the standard iRacing setup. Unless you want to make a setup for it, Mr. Fertile, that'd be incredible. But let's see if we can have a chat. I'll tell you what, I'm going to chop this man in here as well. I want to chat with him. Who else can we have a chat to as we bring in Mr. Jones into the booth? Good evening, Mr. Jones. How are you, sir?
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'm just having a bit of a fight with Roger here on after being a bit silly.
All right. What's he done this time? Apart from set the session up wrong.
No, we're just trying to smash each other in our cars.
Okie dokie. Not an ideal one.
Yeah, not really professional on an interview, I guess, but you know.
All right. So how's your evening been, sir?
It's been all right. I'm going to stop being childish and exit the car. Yeah, it's been all right. I was a bit disappointed with how race 2 finished. Felt like I was smashed off a little bit. But it was a really interesting track. Literally, the racing was really, really close, really, really tight. Exactly like how I like it. But yeah, you just literally every corner it wants to kill you, so it's good.
Was it tight going into turn 1?
It was definitely tight into turn 1. Yeah, yeah. I felt like I was, you know, I had to be prepared going into turn 1.
I'm just watching you go three wide into turn 1 currently at the start of race 3.
I loved going 3 wide into the bitch. It was yeah, it was a memorable experience that I'll love for the rest of my life, I think.
Awesome stuff there, bud. Going forward, it's going to be an interesting season, don't we think?
I hope so, definitely. You know, if anything goes by tonight, I mean, from my perspective, it was really good racing. I saw there was quite a few cars off at various points, but like I said, this track seems to just that you literally touch the curb on the inside and it kills you. You touch the grass and it kills you. It's so hard to just you've got to keep such a tight line around all of the track, not just turn 1. And just follow that line and just try not to be too aggressive with the steering.
Wow. I fully agree with you there as well. So it's been an interesting night of racing. Thank you so much for joining us. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go? I'm dreading this. I've got to be honest.
Why?
I just am. Go on. Anyone you want to shout
out? I suppose my mum and dad for bringing me in the world and making me a double champion.
I had a funny feeling something like that was going to come. But thank you so much, Mr. Jones, for joining me. And I'll chat to you in a minute, I'm sure.
See you later.
Right, let's bring in Mr. Paul Godden. Of course, Paul, the owner of Simstickers, who's kindly sponsored this season's event, shall we say, and the season from last season as well. Done an absolutely stellar job. Took in the victory in race 3. Good evening, Mr. Godden. That looked a very tough race 3.
Yeah, no, hi guys. Yeah, it was a great battle. Yeah, and there's a really fun little track actually in the end. But yeah, it was hard work those last few laps. So I need to watch it back and make sure that I wasn't moving around too much. But I was trying really hard to keep Sam and Stephen behind us. Yeah,
well, you did an absolutely stellar job, mate. I've got to be honest. And you know, well done to you. It was absolutely incredible. Holding them off was just, it was a tough one for you to do, but the fact that you managed it was incredible.
Yeah, I got a slow down, unfortunately, with about 4 or 5 laps to go on the very last corner. And the only way I could lose it is along the main straight by backing off. So I backed it right back to like 0.3, 0.4. And I knew they were quicker than me. So it's just a case of putting it on the apex, stopping the car and then keeping it neat to the next corner and keeping the inside line so they couldn't come up the inside. And and hope that they played nice and didn't do anything dirty. And yeah, fair play to them. They drove really well and it was a great fun battle. And all through the night as well. It was great racing on all 3 races from everyone. I think it's going to be a amazing season this year, this time out.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely cracking one, I'm sure, as well. Going forward, though, Paul, what's your expectations for this season?
Just to improve on last year's pace, really. So I've got an idea where I want to be, about a second off the top guys. And obviously, obviously, I think I'm in AM again, in this season. So there's a couple of guys I was racing last year in the AM when I was in the pros. So I just need to try and keep up with those and have some good battles every race. And the main thing is enjoy it. So have a cracking 3 races every week. So and looking at the caliber of drivers we've got here tonight, I think overall it's a great bunch of drivers.
Well, it sounds like, I've got to be honest, Paul, it sounds like you're smiling while you're talking, so that must have been a good thing.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I've been smiling all night, to be honest. It's for the moment I started race 1, I've been smiling the whole time, and it's great to have Wayne Palmer, my teammate, with us as well. He's never driven this car before, but he wanted to come and learn a bit more racecraft, and I said after last season there's no better series to come and have a bit of good fun door banging and great close racing. And he's had a cracking evening. I think he had a 7th in the first race, and he got a 3rd in the last race as well. So he was a bit worried about being a pro driver, but I said to him, right, I said, you've got your I rating to be a pro driver, so you've got to put the time in. So he's put a lot of effort in this week to learn the car, learn the setup and track, and it's really paid off for him. And yeah, he's looking forward to a great fun season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Paul, thank you so much for joining us there, bud. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, just yourself and the team for putting on such a great series again in quite a short space of time, and for all the drivers for participating. I hope they have a great season, and they have all their own little goals, and hopefully they can improve as well throughout the season. Even the guys at the back. So I always say to people, just make a small little goal and go for that, rather than thinking, oh, I'm at the back, I'm gonna have a lonely race or whatever. But yeah, just make small little goals and improve throughout the season and enjoy it. So
awesome stuff, Paul. Well, thanks so much for joining us, bud, and we'll look forward to having a chat with you as the season goes on.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks very much.
Thank you. There you go, guys, as well. That was Paul Godden coming on with some inspirational chat here as well. So much love to him. It's been an absolutely amazing opening race. I think you've got to agree with that one, Callum. Not a bad 3 races at all.
No, not bad at all. No complaints there whatsoever. We saw action all throughout every single race, and not a second was wasted at all tonight. So quite happy with that, and quite chuffed with what I've seen, to be honest, with a good sized grid and good amount of action all throughout, whether it's on track or off track. It's been fantastic, and there's been a couple of laughs throughout the night, I have to say. I won't say for what reason, but there's been a good couple of laughs tonight. So yeah, it's been top notch, great fun.
Yeah, it definitely has. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, we've got the GT4s from Bathurst on Wednesday evening. But before that, we've got the Sunday drive racing tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. with the UK sim racers finishing off their season as well tomorrow night. So tune in for that one. And then, of course, we've got the return of the start of the JPB GT4 Championship kicking off on Wednesday evening, where you will see the likes of Arthur Ferdle on track there as well. Thank you so much for joining us in chat. I hope you've had a as we part ways with a comment from Mr. Fertile that went plenty of skid marks on turn 1 after that. Yes, there definitely was as well. Hopefully we won't have any awkward corner names next week at Oran Park as we kick off the season for round 1. But thank you so much to everyone. It's been a great laugh having you all in chat. John Higgins Sr., David Ayres there as well, and Phil and everybody else. Thank you so much for joining us. But for now, guys, from myself and Mr. Callum Mileham, you all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on a track sometime. Good night.